Hey guys, I'm Jesse Wormington. Today we're going to be learning No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne with his guitarist Zach Wild. We're going to do a playthrough and then I'm going to break it down. First things first, the tuning is drop C sharp or drop D flat. So it's an E flat tuning for all of the strings except for the low string, which is a whole step down to C sharp or D flat through the same note. So it sounds like this. So you want to make sure your guitar is in the right tuning first. The next thing we should probably talk about is tone, bridge pickup, chorus pedal, overdrive pedal, distorted amp. That's really all you need. On the solo, I'm using a reverb and a delay. Let's get started. Throughout this song, Zakk Wylde is using a guitar slide. So I'm using just a glass slide and he uses it on his middle finger. That way he can hit these bar chords. From the beginning of the song, you hear some weird texture noises. So all that is really is a volume swell and sliding his glass slide along the strings like this. And then we start off the song. And so what I'm doing here is I'm putting my glass slide in the first fret and I'm strumming the D, G, and B strings. And then... So I'm going all the way up to the 7th fret, except for I'm cutting this part out by using my volume knob right here. You can also use a volume pedal. I'm strumming, sliding up, and then bringing the volume up at the same time. And then we've got this. So I'm going 7, 8, and then again on the B string. And then I'm going 7 to 5 on the G. And then I'm going 5 to 10 on the D string and G string. And then 12. And then I'm hitting the top 2 strings, 13th fret, and I'm sliding out. You want to make sure you have a light touch on this with the glass slide. The first time you run through this intro, he's just using the D string and G string, but the second time he runs through, he uses D, G, and B to make it brighter and add variety. Going from 5 to 10, then you're going 7 to 12. And then you're going to go 15 out. A trick that Zakk Wylde uses with the slide, he does vibrato by moving it left to right. When he sits on a note, he's going to give it vibrato. So that's just left and right motion. When he's doing his slide out stuff, you can get a little more crazy with it. So for this big D flat or C sharp power chord, it's just going to be this. And then you're going to add your first finger on the 2nd fret of the G and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're muting that high E string. When the chugging part comes in, Zakk Wylde is just using the low E string and A string. He's not using the D. So he's going 0, 3, 0. Slide from 5 to 6 with no mute. And then you're back to mute. 5, 3, 5, 3, 0. No mute again, 5 to 6. And then you're going 5, 3, 5, and a pinch harmonic. And then you're back to this. For the pinch harmonics here, I'll make a separate video about that. Basically, you're just picking and the side of your thumb is lightly touching that string after you pick, and it creates a forced harmonic. And then you're adding a lot of vibrato to it. This is where it gets kind of proggy. You'll have to watch the playthrough a few times and slow it down with the YouTube tool in the top right. Zakk Wylde and the band really add a lot of differences with this part. In fact, it's not played the same once. Zakk Wylde plays this differently every single time he plays it. I'm going to link his studio performance of this so you can see him playing this song. It's not the same way that he played it in the recorded version, which means that you don't have to be as precise with this stuff. The goal of learning exactly how the record goes is to take that vocabulary and be able to spit it back out so that you know that language. So this is exactly how he played it in the song. Check the video, follow the differences that he creates there. Chorus. You slide into that 5th fret and the other one you just pluck. So I'm going 5 on A, 7 on G, and then 5 on A, 5 on G, and I'm switching up my fingers, ring finger now, 5 on A, 4 on G, and then 5 on A, 3 on G, and then I'm doing 5, 6, 5, 3, all palm muted. And then you just repeat that 4 times. There is that whole section when the strings and the piano comes in that there is absolutely no guitar and you'll hear some like kind of weird whining noises. It's a little odd. It's also just texture. First off, during the piano part, you can just take off your slide. I'm sitting down, so I just put it here. Zakk Wylde puts it on a little bar on a mic stand. So you just take the thing off, put it back on. So I'm bending a full step bend on the 13th fret of the B string. And then I'm just coming down on it, rolling my volume off. So I'm doing the same thing after that with 12th fret. And then I got the 20th fret. And then we go into the actual solo, which is like this. So pretty straightforward there. I will talk about this bend a little bit. What I'm doing here is I've got 12th fret of the G string and my pinky's on the 13th fret of the B string, and I'm doing a full step bend and keeping my pinky in place to get a beautiful double stop sound. And then we've got this is the fast part. I'm just going to play it really slow and talk about it. In the beginning, we've got just a big bend here on the 13th fret of the B string. So I'm doing big bend, 10 on high E, 13 on B, 10 on B, and then I'm doing this thing. So I'm bending the 12th fret of the G string, full step, and then I'm borrowing the 10th fret of the B and E, and I'm just strumming those like this. Okay, so I've got... And then, so I'm just going 15 big bend, and then 13 on the high E string, and then I'm doing this. I'm borrowing the 12th fret of the D and the G, and I'm alternating between them, palm muting. And then so that's 10th fret of the G string and B string, and I'm doing a double stop there with borrowing with my first finger, giving it vibrato, 12, 10, 12 on the D string. So palm muted, and then I've got my middle finger now on the 12th fret. My ring finger is going to be on the 12th fret of the G string. My first finger is on the 10th fret, and I'm pulling off from the 12 to the 10 on the G, and then going with my middle finger 12 on the D. So like that, and then just 12 G, 12 D. So, and then I'm borrowing the 10th fret of the G and the B, and I'm giving it a half step bend to give it a super bluesy, and then resolving to the 12th fret of the D, and then the whole step bend on the 12th fret of the G, and then I'm going to release it and pull off the 10, and then 12 on the D. So I'm borrowing my ring finger here now, and I'm going to go 12 on G and B, and then 10 on the G and the B, borrowing back to 12 on the D, and then a double stop from 12 to 10 on the G and B. 12 on G and B barred, and then 12 on D, and then I'm going to do that blues thing again, and then I'm going to go 12, 10 on the D. And then the next phrase is very fast. So what I'm doing here is a bend on the 13th of B, and then I'm doing kind of a sweep from the 13th fret of the B string to the 10th fret of the high E, just like this. And then I'm working my way back down. So 13 on B to 10. And then I'm doing this blues double stop thing again. So bend on 12, full step, bar 10, B and E, and then back down again, pulling off here from 13 to 10. Then I go to 12 on the G, and now I'm just going to sit on the G and do a bend. Strumming 3 times in a full step bend on the 12th fret of the G string, and then plucking again to come back down. 10th fret of the G, and then pull off from 12 to 10 on the G to 12 on the D. Then we've got So that's just a bend on 15 of the high E. And then you're coming down on the bend, going to 13. And then 15 on B to 15 on high E, 15 on B, 13 on high E, 15 on B. So you're just doing this. And then we're gonna do this entirely alternate pick thing. I'm doing 13 on the high E to 10 on the high E. I'm using my pinky. Zakk Wylde uses his ring finger. So you're doing this. Alternating between the high E and B strings. You do each of these phrases 4 times. Then you're just gonna do 15 to 13 on the high E string and B string. And then you're gonna go 15 to 13 on the high E, and then 16 to 13 on the B. So on this last one, you're doing... So you're really doing it 3 times. And then on the 4th time, you're doing... And immediately you go into... So what Zakk Wylde is doing here is sweeping, so to speak, and then hammering on. So he's got middle finger, 15th fret of the B string, 13th fret of the high E, so you're going like this. Hammering on with your pinky to the 18th fret of the high E string and pulling off. So it's this. And you do that 4 times. And you go into... This one's gonna be 17 on the B and then 15 on the high E, hammering on to 20 on the high E, so... Take the 20th fret and give it a big healthy bend with vibrato. And then slide out. After that, you just got some texture slides again. And you really just repeat the same stuff as you have before. So the rest of it is pretty much the same, minus the rhythmic changes that the band makes with the guitar specifically in this recorded version. At the end of the song, the chorus changes rhythm a little bit. That's the entire song. If you have any suggestions or requests on lessons that you'd like to see me do, let me know in the comments. I do private online guitar lessons with a variety of students, and actually a student recommended this song to me, and that's why I'm making the lessons. Shout out Zenadine. If you guys would like to hit me up for lessons, follow the link to my website at jessewormington.com/lessons, and then just fill out that form. It'll shoot me an email. Also, if you want to stream my music, that would be cool as well. I'm just Jesse Wormington on any platform, JESSE space WORMINGTON, and I will link that stuff below. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, everything. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.